Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central. I am Gil Ingles, and with me today we have both of the L's, that is Leda and Lisa, both pageantry material. One is Miss Liberia and the other one is the contestant for Miss Houston, that actually by way of Liberia too represents the diaspora. Ladies, welcome to Diaspora Central.
Hello.
A lot of beauty in the building today.
Why not?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be the most envied individual in the city. Pageantry. But one of the things that I actually want to talk about first is not even anything to do with pageantry. It has to do with the acts or the good that you guys do for the community. Now, let's give a little bit of background from you. Of course, Lisa, this is your second time back, so let's start with you, Leda. Okay. Give us your name, country of origin, and a little bit about you.
No worries. Mm-hmm. Okay, so hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here with my beautiful friend and sister, Lisa, and Gil. Oh, my God, always a pleasure. My name is Leda Knowlden. Mm-hmm. I am from West Africa, Liberia, as you mentioned. I am former Miss Liberia. I have a background in communications. Mm-hmm. I do image consulting from anywhere from a small to a large scale.
There you go.
Most recent projects would be volunteer my services for the Liberia Bicentennial. So I was over there for about 3 months helping the government to get some things done, celebrating 200 years of Liberia's existence.
There you go. And that's a big mission, because after all, that is the country. Liberia is the country that receives the people that come from America at the time when they return back to the continent with
Absolutely.
the Marcus Garvey movement, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, big bicentennial.
Yes, sir.
How time flies.
I know, 200 years.
Exactly.
Can you believe it?
Indeed. And Lisa.
Hello. You know, I am staying busy.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm going to be volunteering as doing some correspondence work along with Leda at the African Sub Energy Conference, which will be happening here in Houston May 2nd. So we're going to be helping out Awakening Africa magazine, which represents all the businesses in the African diaspora. You have some key people there.
Yeah.
We're going to go talk to them. We're going to go scope out the event and make sure we give it the proper coverage. So that is what is in the works for us next as far as giving back and promoting our beautiful country.
Yeah. Actually the continent, right? When you promote Liberia, you're promoting Africa, and you're promoting America also, because today it's one global village.
Absolutely.
Right? And of course we have the opportunity of actually being the bridge between the old continent and the new continent, right?
And I like that you said that if you're building Liberia, you're building Africa and the world at large, because that's really what the essence of all of this is. At the end of the day, at the core of who we are everybody, you know?
Indeed.
And it's really decent to have other people not only acknowledge, but make efforts to include everybody. So that's excellent.
Indeed. Now, both of you have gotten into pageantry, and of course you actually have a formal title. When did you get into pageantry? How old were you, and how did that happen?
My pageantry story is so silly. I believe I was 9 years old when I did my first pageant.
Okay.
And so my sister and I only have a year and 6 months between us.
Okay.
And my mom thought it was cute to dress us up alike our entire
Wow.
lives. Yes.
There you go.
So my sister is this beautiful, gorgeous, tall lady. And so she decided at 11 she wanted to go for the school pageant.
Okay.
And my mom decides that if I want to go, I should go too. And the entire pageant, we had the same outfits.
Oh, wow.
But my sister ended up placing and I didn't.
So you basically at that point looking at both of you guys on the same pageant.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes, but my sister, it was my sister's pageant.
Right.
Needless to say, I was just a tag along, and I just loved it so much, and I loved that I got to share that with my sister. And I didn't participate in another pageant till like years and years later. I think my next pageant was when I was 14.
Okay.
This is still back in Liberia as well. So I'm in high school at this point, 10th grade.
Yeah. What city though?
This is in Monrovia.
Monrovia. That's the capital of Liberia.
Yes.
Right.
And I participated in my second pageant.
Okay.
And I won that pageant. So I was like, oh, I could do this.
Oh, okay.
And then I did my next one.
So, and what's the sister's name?
Leanne.
So another L.
Another L.
Yeah, so this is
like
L all the way, right?
We're here
Yeah,
to
like
lead.
Liberia. You like the leads? I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Now, since you have been here in the States, of course, you came in for school primarily.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came to America right after that pageant I just talked about. I came to America.
The Miss Liberia, right?
No, the Miss J.J. Roberts,
Oh,
the high school
the J.J.
pageant.
Roberts.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
So I came to America as a foreign exchange student, and I graduated high school here. I was supposed to go on to college here, but I was so young. I was only 16.
Right.
I was missing home, so after my graduation, I was like, it's been so long. I think I'm going to go home to my family, to what I know.
Okay.
So I went back home, but I've been back and forth since.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the title of Miss Liberia kind of help us. That would be the Miss Liberia title that would have actually carried out to what? To Miss Universe?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yep. And we just we like to make that transition so that people completely understand exactly what we're talking about. Now, Lisa, we do have some images of you from the new pageant, right? We got some images and pictures. How was the pageant?
Oh, it was a very wonderful experience.
Right.
I mean,
and your first one too,
this
right?
was my first beauty pageant.
Right.
I actually have a background in modeling, so I did a lot of runway things, catalogs, photo shoots.
There you go.
But actually, beauty pageant, it was my first one,
Okay.
and it was such a very growth experience for me. The Miss Academy is one of the largest pageant systems worldwide. So, I mean, to even be a part and selected to be a part of that process, it's just taken me in places where I could have never imagined. And actually participating in the pageant that night, I mean, I just learned so much about myself, what I'm capable of, what I can do. I mean, it was just something where I connected with so many of the girls, networking, building relationships, helping people.
Okay.
It's really opened my eyes to what pageantry really means.
Okay.
And it's really focused more so on personal development, really building those links, etiquette, grace, class, confidence.
Gotcha.
These are all things that you learn once you go through the pageant experience that you can then translate to other areas in your life. So it was wonderful. The entire family came down. We were throwing rice, acting crazy, dressed up in the full gear. Yeah. But, it was something my mother said to me that, I mean, after she said this, regardless of how the outcome came, I knew I won.
Okay.
She says to me, Lisa, we come from a place, Kabara, which is, in Sino County somewhere, you know. And she says, who would have brought us here? Not only are you taking steps and striding to do new things in your life, you're literally bringing your entire family along with you. Right. And for that, I thank you. And it was in that moment that I realized it's not just important to, bring promotion to just our specific country or one place. Like you said, pushing Africa forward as a continent is so important because we want to see that growth between generations. So it was a great experience.
Definitely. It's definitely the power of representation. I mean, having the representation of a country, of a specific race, demographics, regardless of what it is, just representation is very important in any aspect. But you know what? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the images that we have for both of you guys, and then we'll come back with some more conversation, okay? Can that be okay? All right. So let's go into a break.
Imagine a world where anything can happen. Welcome to my world. I'm
Lisa Kunney, and for more than a decade, I have been the link to connecting people and places globally. My mission, to turn these important connections into opportunities for growth. Together, let's create something amazing and shape a brighter future.
And we are back. If you've just joined us, you are now tuned into Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles, and our guest today is Lisa Kunney. And Leda, say your last name for us, please. Knowlden.
Fun fact, we actually have the same initials.
Yeah. It's kind of like what I'm noticing, right?
So let me tell you a small funny story. So
ahead.
Lisa and I work together in this really cool furniture store. We obviously are aesthetic girls through and through.
Right.
And so we tend to, put effort into our appearance and help people too in their space, appearance, whatever. That's why I do image consultant.
Right.
And I remember when I transferred because I was in a different store and I transferred to the same store.
Okay.
And for 4 years, people kept mistaking us for each other. And I'm like, we look nothing.
You guys don't look alike.
We look nothing.
But they still
similar body structure, similar height.
Yeah.
And we kind of speak the same way.
And you guys have a bit of the mannerism. It's like you can tell that you guys are good friends. Yeah. You guys spend a lot of time together.
We do, but we got mistaken so often. And if we weren't friends, it would have been so bad because sales is commission, right?
Right.
So you need honesty to be like, no, I'm not.
So they would give in the commission to the other one.
24/7, flip-flopping the commissions. And I'm just like, all right, girl, if I'm not there, you handle it, vice versa.
Yeah. Just tell them the girl whose name starts with the L.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm noticing a pattern here. It looks like Liberia likes names that start with the L because I think I introduced you to Latin.
Yes,
she also starts with the L, right? Latin.
It must be a trend.
It's a L. Yeah, it's a L thing. Country
thing.
name starts with the A, and everybody else starts with the L also. So what else do we have going on as far as not only pageantry, but as far as other things that you guys, platforms and things of that sort that you guys are trying to get going on in the community and so forth.
This is so near and dear to my heart, and it's been such an honor, honestly, working with Lisa. But about a year ago, I decided to do a foundation.
Okay.
Lisa decided to do a foundation as well. We've decided to collaborate and make that foundation in our goal one. As far as just really helping women, like holistically, we've chosen 4 aspects to really focus our energies and try to help young women. And our foundation is called For Life. And it's the number 4 and LYFE.
Okay, what are the 4 aspects?
Yes. So it's going to be health, but those aspects would be physical, mental, emotional, and financial.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that having knowledge about finances is actually a healthy skill to have. It does play in with every other aspect of your life. And so when we mention financial, it's like a curveball. Whoa, pageant people talking about finances. Yes, we believe that it's definitely a major resource that we need to inject back into the community.
Right.
And it would just be an amazing accomplishment for us to be able to educate young women on not only how to take care of themselves physically, but emotional health, mental health, how it all plays together, and what really it means to be financially stable, secure, and how to build that into the life you want to see, essentially. So we're really excited about this foundation. I'll let Lisa add a little bit to that.
So for me, this foundation is something that I am so excited about. I'm very passionate about health. My story is I lost over 85 pounds through mental, physical, spiritual, financial help. And
so hold on. You said 85 pounds.
85 pounds, yes.
Yeah, because when you say 85, people may think 8 to 5, but you're saying 85.
Yes.
85.
That's a lot of weight.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was a lot of weight. And I think for me, you know, a lot of times when you talk about weight loss and health, you know, people just go to diet and exercise. But as Leda, you know, so beautifully stated, it's the mental health, it's
Right.
the financial health, it's the, you know, overall well-being.
Yeah.
And for me, I went through the journey and I didn't have that support system. It was just learning and building that self-discipline, building the mindset. And that in this foundation is what we really want to focus on. We want to focus on building the proper mindset around food. As you know, a lot of us, our parents, they come from Africa, so these things are luxury.
Right.
We're brought up in almost a survival mentality.
Indeed.
But what that looks like compounded over time can go into overeating, undereating, negative self-image. These are all the things we are going to tackle in this foundation by really building a proper mindset in young women and letting them understand that it's okay to have a healthy relationship with food and that nobody's running after us. The food isn't going away.
Right.
I know we have all heard it, you know, growing up, you better eat all of this rice,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It was a
Indeed.
it's almost even in our culture today.
Yeah.
If you go to some homes, it's considered a disrespect to not partake in,
Right.
you know, some of these eatings.
Right.
But
Overeating.
overeating,
Yeah,
and we want to
overeating.
bring, and not only that, we're going to bring a twist to some of our favorite African dishes. I love jollof rice and pounded yam as much as the next person, but let's come up with the Afro fusion.
Right.
Let's do a couscous over a rice. Let's do a
Gotcha.
grilled fish over a fried fish,
Okay.
and all the other 15 soups. We
Right.
can, you know,
Yeah.
show portion control,
There you
create that healthy relationship with food, and most importantly, focus on mindset. So
Okay.
I'm extremely excited about this.
Oh wow,
foundation.
yeah. It looks like you got a little bit of a nutritionist coming out out of you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going from public health to nutrition.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
No, that's
yes.
definitely good. Go ahead, Leda. You were gonna
Oh
say
no,
something?
I was gonna say it's really funny that you mentioned earlier that Lisa and I are close. We actually don't spend a lot of time together,
Okay.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
But what was, I think for us, what was really a turning point and an eye opener for us is we both went through our journeys right around the same time.
Got you.
So when she realized that, you know, there had, you know, arisen some issues with
Yeah.
her weight,
Yeah.
she decided to work on it. And I think that's where that mindset coaching
Gotcha.
comes from. Like, it takes a certain ability to say, okay, I can't go beyond this point.
Yeah.
And for me, that's when I started gaining weight.
Okay.
So I've always been a health nut. And
Okay.
then, you know, at some point you go through something. And that's why we keep saying that mentality is so important.
Right.
You let your guard down, you let things get to you. And so, you know, we both went through that stage. And for me, I had to get diagnosed with fibroids for me to like check myself.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
but by that time, fortunately for me, I had already gotten back on my health
Okay.
journey. We met in the middle, and I was able to basically nurse myself
There you
back
go.
to
To health.
health.
Yeah.
And I no longer struggle with fibroids.
Right.
I didn't have to go through surgery or anything. I was able to literally get through the most painful moment. Any woman who's dealing
Stage
with
of it.
this knows what kind of pain and discomfort and everything else that comes with fibroids.
Okay.
I literally use food to heal myself. And so
Gotcha.
when we talk about a healthy relationship with food, how it's going to really benefit, especially the African community, to develop that relationship with food, mindset,
Right.
physical, mental, it's all hand in hand. It all
Definitely.
works together.
Definitely.
I think that for what we're trying to do here, it's so significant because we are our own walk-in billboards, right?
Right.
So
Indeed.
we
Yeah.
dealt with the
Yeah.
issue.
The body's a temple, right?
Exactly.
Everybody sees it.
Exactly. And we just really want to reassure anybody who's watching the show, anybody who's struggling or going through something and they see this, we're literally living testimonials of you can do it, you will do it, you just have to put your mind to it.
Right. So it's all about what you eat and how you spend your money, right?
Exactly.
So basically,
is.
physical and financial health
It goes hand
and
in
mental
hand.
health, of
mental.
course. Yeah, because I mean, if your physical is good and your financial is good, normally the mental will also be good because you're not as stressed and vice. So they pretty well
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we like to address things like environment. We like to address things like emotions. A lot of time you can be doing well in so many aspects, but sometimes we're our own worst enemies,
Yeah.
and things from the past or environment or all of those things can really come and contaminate that.
Right.
And so when we say for life, when we say we're aiming at that holistic aspect of it, we mean that we want to put people in the mindset of I can conquer anything, mind over whatever
Yeah.
else.
Over matter.
And for me, it's it was a saying that just stuck with me. You know, how you show up in one area of your life is how you show up in all areas of your life.
Right.
Once I was able to successfully go through my weight loss journey, it showed me a discipline
Right.
to translate into pageantry,
Right.
to translate into my profession, to just show up.
Right.
I think sometimes, you know, us as African people, we haven't, because of all the things that have happened to us in the past,
Right.
just the ability to show up.
Yeah. Well, we kind of get stuck on survival mode,
we
right?
do.
Just get it done. Yeah. Just get it done.
Just
yeah.
get by.
Get it done seems almost like an
And
accomplishment
the
in
one
itself.
thing my parents will tell you when they joke and say I'm truly African American is I've always combated them with that. You know, I said, let's just do it. Let's push. I was always that kid, intuitive, wanting to know, why are all these people here? Why
Driven.
can't I have everything on the TV?
Driven.
Why?
Right.
And they're like, oh, this American child. But the thing about it is that very thing has been able to translate and put me in spaces now that I could never even dream about.
There you go.
And I think when you talk about health and wellness, we first have to identify it is an issue.
Right.
And I think it's a tough conversation because you're talking about, for instance, my dad, you know, he was struggling with cholesterol. And over 50 years of eating a certain type of way,
Right.
now all of a sudden coming and saying, oh, eat a salad, do this, it's not going to work. It's not, you have to, but what me and my mom did, we were able to come up with a meal plan where we're still cooking our soups, but we're substituting cauliflower rice.
There you
We're
go.
substituting the fish and the meats, but we're doing it in a way like meeting a culture where it's at, because
Right.
we can't, I think us as Africans, we try to do things sometimes in the way of the Western world, which is okay in some cases, but
Right.
you have to look at the history,
Right.
and you have to meet people where they're at,
Right.
let them get to that level, and then we can push forward.
There you go. So meet them what they are, and For Life is the organization that can help you guys do that. You guys already have a website up.
We're just working on that.
Okay,
We're
working
just
on the website.
launching.
Okay, what's gonna be the URL for the website?
It's gonna be forlife.com.
Okay, forlife.com.
Yes.
All right.
So we do have an Instagram page
Okay.
as well, so they can go ahead and follow that Instagram page.
And what is the handle?
It's For Life.
Okay, at
Yes.
For Life. There you
Yes.
go. And
For Life _1.
okay, For Life _1, and that's on all social media.
That's on Instagram
On
and
Instagram,
Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook. Okay, what about Twitter?
We're not on Twitter yet.
Not on Twitter yet.
No.
Okay. All right. But either way, if they need any additional information, they need to
can
look for
contact
For
us, yes.
Life, which is the number 4
LYFE.
LYFE.
Yes.
All right.
And they can also follow us on our YouTube pages. We do
Correct.
we offer
Okay.
health coaching,
Yeah.
just talking about our journeys.
Okay. And let's go ahead and get your information.
Literally Leda.
Leda.
Leda K.
Okay,
so
Leda
it's
K.
LEDA space K.
Okay. And you,
Lisa K Lifestyle.
Okay, Lisa K. Whoa, that's LK and LK. Here we go.
It's so bad. We're so sorry. We have to apologize.
No,
all the
you don't
time.
have to
So
apologize. It's
confusing.
actually a good thing. And Diaspora, stand up, because today Liberia was definitely in the building. Thank you for coming out, Leda and Lisa. It's been a pleasure. So for our Diaspora community spotlight, we are pretty much done. And remember, take care of your health, your financial, and your mental mind state. Until then, peace.
Bye.
Bye everybody.